I'll just move on.
Hello, Maggie. It is lovely to chat to you today for She Can. Tell us a little about yourself and what you do.
Okay, well, I'm the founder and the director of Style, which is a personal branding, impact and wardrobe consultancy that I founded some years ago, actually, as the Style Council. And what we do is we help men and women and young people understand that we are all a unique brand, whether we're the mum at the school gates or whether we're the CEO of Marks and Spencer's. And there are all sorts of elements that make up that brand. I help my clients understand that brand and then make sure that they have the look that complements that brand. So it's not just about how they dress, it's much, much more than that. And I think the blurb, my blurb says, from pop stars to politicians, from CEOs to sixth formers, from grannies to godchildren and everyone in between. And that's about it. I work with both men and women. I work within the corporate sector and outside. I have an academy teaching people to do what I do. And I have an online style club where my members receive weekly newsletters and videos and interviews with industry specialists, etc. So that's what I do. So I work with young people in schools. It's really, really varied. But it's about understanding that, you know, it's not about your shape and your size. It's about understanding your unique brand and dressing to complement that brand.
Amazing, Maggie. Thank you. Tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got to that stage.
Blimey. Well, I say to people, I've had a portfolio career. I was originally a speech therapist, specializing in Down syndrome, and I wrote on it and researched on it. And I then took a sideways step to become the first national salaried director of the National Charity for Families with Children with Down syndrome. And I was the youngest female director and the first one ever at the time under 30. I was about 22, I think, a bit older than that anyway. So I did that. And then I ran a fundraising consultancy with a girlfriend of mine helping small charities. Then I took some time off to be a mummy and I did everything under the sun. Every cookery course under the sun, diploma in optimum nutrition, historic garden design, I just did everything. But I was always fascinated by fashion. And so in 2000, my first late husband, of which I've had two late husbands, and I went to live in southwest France and bought a wine growing chateau. And to cut a long story short, out of that I started shopping with expats I met, and I then decided I would do a course in French in Paris. And then my husband tragically became ill, so he came back to the UK, and I thought, well, I better do it again in English because I'm not sure how much of that, my French was quite up to it. And for a while I played at it, and James was ill, and tragically when James died I could no longer play at it. It had to become an income stream for me and my two daughters who were 13 and 17. That's really what I've been doing ever since, really. It all stemmed from there, and the business has grown and changed. I was very lucky to have some introductions into the corporate sector very early. And then the training element came on and I trained people one-to-one. It's just evolved over the years, really, into this thing, which is very different from what it started out to be. But I always say I have a portfolio career, which is very, very fashionable, actually.
I think so, Maggie. And I think that in the future, we will have many more sort of, especially women going into lots of...
Absolutely. I think so. I was just talking to my daughter about that last night, and she was saying, so many of her friends who went into, in inverted commas, the professions, are now moving out and starting their own businesses and, sideways moves. I have a second daughter who's a teacher, and there are so many people, interestingly, going into teaching, having been in very different professions. So I think, and change is good. I'm a Gemini, so I love change. It's in my DNA, but I do think that there's many more opportunities, and I don't think it's ever too soon or ever too late.
I agree. Thank you for saying that. Maggie, what motivates you to keep going every day and find new clients and keep pushing?
Okay, well, I mean, I have to be totally honest. And first of all, I have to say the bank balance, I'm a single mom. I was widowed again, so I'm a single mom. So I'm still working because I need to work, but also because I love it. What motivates me is I just love it because I meet the most fascinating people. And it's not just about dressing people. It makes the most phenomenal difference. I work with a lot of people who are at a point of change in their corporate careers. And it's a time when even the most confident have lost confidence. And it's all about feeling good, looking good. And that thing when you see somebody, whatever age, however accomplished, looking in the mirror, and they look at themselves in the mirror and they go, yeah, okay. And then they put something on and they suddenly go, oh, yeah, I like that. And it's to say it's life-changing. I mean, people go, it's only clothes. It's not clothes. It's so much more. And even if it's about helping somebody who's got a wardrobe full of clothes, has had a baby, and now doesn't know what to wear, the change that affects when you feel good, when you step out of that door, is so important. And that's what keeps me going. I just love it.
I mean, your passion comes through so much, Maggie. What do you think is your superpower, Maggie? What do you have that makes you good at what you do?
I've been doing it a long time. I have a lot of experience. I should translate that into I have a lot of experience. And I think I love people. I love people. I have a sense of humor. I think that's really important. Whatever you do in life, you have to have a sense of humor. But I think it's about relating to people and trying hard to understand people and making people feel good and actually wanting to do what you do, really. When I train someone to do what I do and then I see them set up a successful business, it's in some ways, I think it's a bit like volunteering. It's quite a selfish thing in a way, because I get so much back from it. And this makes me sound quite saintly, which is why I started off by saying, I work because I need to work as well. But it's true. I think the fact that I love what I do, that I have got a lot of experience and I'm confident and I know what I'm doing, makes all the difference, really. But you have to enjoy it. You have to enjoy it.
I think that if I think of all the interviews I've done so far, that comes through as a thread. You have to love what you do, because then it's not a job. It becomes more than that. And once you exude that, it seems that the job becomes much easier.
I think it does. I think absolutely it does. I think that it's about enthusiasm. It's about enthusiasm. But of course, it's about understanding people. I mean, I'm a very enthusiastic person, and I have to tone. One adapts one's approach according to the client. With a quieter, more introverted client, then that requires a different kind of approach. And if you're good with people, then you understand that. And I think that's what makes it work. You have to be flexible as well,
Yeah. Maggie, what would your top tips be for other women?
I think it's never too late or never too early. I would say, don't look back, look forward. Really important. Expect to make some mistakes if you're starting something new. If you're not starting something new and you're moving up the ladder, don't be afraid to ask. Push yourself forward. I think now what's really interesting is, especially in this virtual world, it's very easy. It's much easier to be overlooked. And I think, we as women, generally, we can be very self-deprecating. And I think that we have to understand what we can do and not be afraid to talk about what we can do and to show other people what we can do, which is why my thing about the way you look is important, because that's all part of how people perceive you. So I think it would be to think about how other people perceive you, and to imagine what other people think when they meet you, not just about the way you look, but about the way you respond to them and the way you interact with all kinds of people. And I think, and be open-minded. And I guess the other thing is, you know what? You just have to work hard.
Yes, that too.
You just have to work hard, you know.
Maggie,
the way around it.
How do you see your future? What is?
How do I see my future? Well, I'm sort of quite wary about thinking about my future because, you know, I mean, my future has changed a lot over the years and what I had planned had not happened. So I think, how do I see my future? I would see my online style club growing, which I adore doing because I love writing. I've got a book which is it's called the Wardrobe Workout Handbook, and it's a practical guide to detoxing and sorting out your wardrobe. And it's even got a playlist for when you're doing it. And it's got a non-alcoholic cocktail for when you start and an alcoholic cocktail for when you're finished. So I need to do something about getting that published. And I would like to train more people to do what I do. I have a unique sort of body mapping technique, which I use to help people understand their body shape and to dress accordingly, to help it with no rights and no wrongs. But I would like to pass some more of those skills on to other people and help some more young people to do what I've done, really.
Amazing, Maggie. Thank you so much for chatting today. That was very inspiring.
It was my absolute pleasure.